It's about to get heavy. It's about to be on. And I make videos about it. So nobody move. Cause I was sent to warn you. The next TUF season starts now. I know that doesn't rhyme or flow well, but the point is, yes! The Ultimate Fighter is back, season 28, aka the Heavy Hitter season. I'm here to talk about episode 1, the biggest and baddest. Well, just biggest and baddest, I just added the because why not? But yeah, it's called heavy hitters because the weight classes involved are the two heaviest in their respective genders, men's heavyweights and women's featherweights. And yeah, and also because of the coaches being quite heavy hitters, because most of their wins have come via by finishes, mostly from knocking the fuck out of the other person. Those would be Robert Whittaker, I said Robert Whittaker on Team Blue, and Kelvin Gastelum on Team Red, or Pink, as we'll get into a bit later. But yeah, quite a bit to talk about this episode, but it was fun. I quite enjoyed it. We had a good fight. So yeah, let's just talk about what we got to talk about. So first, as always, is the evaluations. First, Kelvin Gastelum got the women and had a look at their wrestling and grappling in the octagon. Rob Whittaker took the men and had a look at their striking in the main, the big black mat area. That I don't know what it's called. And then they switched. Kelvin Gastelum looked over the men's wrestling, and Robert Whittaker looked over the women striking. And that was to determine who they would pick in the eventual coin toss. And there was some stuff between not a lot I remember, but the coin toss happened, and it was funny because Danny White was there and he pointed Team Blue as Whittaker and then Team Pink to Gastelum, and Gastelum was like, "Hey man," and there was a good little laugh there. And the coin was tossed, and Kelvin Gastelum got it, so Team Pink gets control of the fight. That's going to be a running joke for me this entire season, by the way. I'm always going to call him Team Pink, even though the colour is blatantly red, but I'm going to keep calling him Team Pink, because it's funny. And yeah, he picked the first fight, so Robert Whittaker picked the first fighter. And I can tell you who they picked, and why. Well, I can't tell you why, I can just tell you who they picked. So, Team Whittaker, the heavyweight are Anderson de Silva, who has a little funny story about him, which I'll get to in a little bit. Juan Francisco Espino de Yapa, Mikel Batista, I hope I'm saying that right, and, forgive me, Przemyslaw Mysiala. He's from Poland, they have weird names. And that's for the heavyweights. The women's featherweights are Julius Doliarenko, Leia Letson, Larissa Pacheco, and Katerina Lerner. As for Team Gastelum, the heavyweights are Ben Sassoli, Maurice Greene, Josh Parisian, and Justin Frazier. And the women's featherweights are Macy Chiasson, I hope I'm saying that right, Penny Kianzad, Bea Malecki, and Mosea Allen. And yeah, the little story that Anderson de Silva had is because he shares the similar name with Anderson Silva. Because Anderson Silva has been seen a lot lately, when it was reported that Anderson de Silva was going to have a fight, a lot of people would show up expecting Anderson Silva and they would just get disappointed. And that kind of made me laugh a little bit. So, yeah, that was really good. The first fight, though, which was Team Gastelum's choice, was Maurice Greene from his side against Przemyslaw PM. Let's just call him PM. Everyone else is doing it, and it's his initial, so it works. So it's Maurice Greene versus PM, and that's a fight we'll get into a little bit later. Let's see, other things in between. I know there was quite a bit. There was the fighters going into the house and looking for beds, and because Maurice Greene is 6'7", I think he's the tallest guy there. He said, "I need a king-size bed for me," and everyone else was like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair enough." So I was like, "Yeah, no, that's fair." And yeah, like everyone was looking for beds. Everyone just sort of got along well. There was a great moment where they were sat playing. Well, two of them were playing pool, and one of them, I think it was Josh Parisian, was sat on a bench nearby. But because of how big he is, because they're all heavyweights, he accidentally moved the bench down a little bit when he sat on it, and everyone stopped and looked like, "Oh shit!" So yeah, that was kind of funny. There was a lot of funny little moments peppered in between, so I quite like that. One of the main things we're going to talk about, obviously, is the home videos. Maurice Greene showed us his home video where he trains. Oh, I forgot the other thing about the weigh-ins. Not the weigh-ins, the fight itself when that was announced. So Maurice Greene has a lazy eye, and when he and PM were standing off, PM just said to him, "I can't really look straight at you." And Maurice Greene said, "I've got a lazy eye, so that's completely fine," and that made me feel a bit happy, and it made me realise I really fucking like Maurice Greene. Just out of the blue, I really like Maurice Greene. He's just honest about it. So, but yeah, we go to his home video, and he has a family, he has a wife, he has a couple of kids. Yeah, dude's got a good life, and despite being 6'7", he pulls off a really damn good cartwheel, as he saw when he was training at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, which is really good gym. And then we get to PM's video, and his was focused a bit more on his personal life. He has 2 kids. We didn't really see a wife or girlfriend in question, so that's sort of a bit more up in the air. He says that when he was 15, his brother had cancer and passed away, and what else was there? His family was kind of in debt. His parents weren't really paying much attention to him, so he basically got his life back on straight through the medium of MMA, which is good. And his kids, a 10-year-old son, I think, and a 7-year-old daughter, both train at the same jiu-jitsu camp that he does. I don't remember the name of it, but it's in Maidenhead, England, which he moved to after he was done in Poland. But yeah, in Poland, when he was a bit younger, he was addicted to drugs, and basically his life was in the shiter. But then he came back, so good for him. And yeah, it was just a really nice story for Maurice Greene. His wasn't as sad. He did say he used to be like 330 pounds and not an athlete, and that's like roughly 50 pounds more than I was at my worst. I've lost a little bit since then, obviously. You know, it doesn't look like I have, but I'm losing it little chips, baby steps for me. But yeah, really, really good stories, really nice home videos. Just really good stuff, and I guess we don't have a whole lot else to talk about except for the fight itself, but there was a great moment where they're entering the fight, and you know how in the Ultimate Fighter they have that camera that looks up at them from their feet and stuff and just like looks at them as they actually enter the cage? You don't often see it shake. When PM stepped into the octagon, he's the shorter of the two, he's 6 feet tall and he weighs less than Maurice, but he stepped into the octagon and the camera fucking shook for a solid 2-3 seconds. I haven't really seen that in any other season, and that kind of reminded me, yeah, we're in for some heavy shit here, literally, like, and figuratively. You know, we might actually be in for any, like, weighty fecal matter, but we're in for some really good fights, I feel. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting, and, a couple of other things about Maurice. I know, I will get to the fight, trust me. But that was, you know, he crochets in his quiet time. Like, I play video games, I write, I read in my quiet time, you know? Like, I write for fun, I don't just write for videos and stuff. And I read, and I play video games. And if I can be asked, which hasn't been for a while now, I probably might play the guitar again, I don't know. But Maurice Greene, 6'7", black dude, lazy eye, 250-ish pounds, he crochets. I think that's up there with my favourite Ultimate Fighter hobbies. Well, okay, the Toothless Tom one doesn't count because that was an actual job he had where he installed candy machines. But it's still up there with things that they do, you know. You look at Maurice Greene, you wouldn't expect him to be a dude who crochets, but he's just a really personable guy. I just really liked him. Hell, like for his opponents, he's tries to make friends with his opponents. He made PM a fucking hat. He made him a hat, and PM briefly wore it in the stare down, and then stopped. And then after they stopped the stare down, Maurice said, "My eyes were burning all night making that for you." So that was another funny moment. Oh man. And the fight itself, pretty solid. Fairly one-sided. Maurice Greene won by Maurice Greene won by first round knockout. Yeah, he just landed a really, really good left. It's difficult to read a guy as tall as Maurice Greene is, and he was mostly southpaw in the fight, so that was kind of interesting to note. He had a really good right jab, missed a good head kick at one point, but his left hook was where it was at, and then the finishing sequence of the fight, there was some good moments in between, like Maurice Greene getting a takedown, landing some good ground pound from that, and good clinch work as well. He landed some really good knees to the body. But the finishing moment was great. He got in close, landed a right elbow, then landed a right knee, and that stunned PM and sort of took him down to the ground a bit, and he was inside position, and Maurice Greene kept landing punch after punch after punch, but PM survived and managed to get back up, and then they're in the clinch again, and then one bang fucking right uppercut. Bang fucking right uppercut, I'm going to stick to that. Landed clean, knocked out PM. Well, his eyes were still open, but the referee stopped the fight, and the referee was Chris Trioni, who was underrated. He did a damn good job in this fight. So yeah, the fight was over, and Maurice Greene wins. Team Gastelum gets the first one of the season for their team, and they get to still pick the fights. And if I remember correctly, the next fight they picked was Penny from their side versus Katharina from Team Whittaker. I think that's the next fight, whether we're going to get in the next episode. So, yeah, all in all, really surprisingly funny first episode. I really like Maurice Greene. I like all the fights so far. Rob Whittaker and Kelvin Gastelum don't really have a lot of hate for each other. At the same time, they don't have love for each other. They understand that it's going to be a rivalry throughout the season, but they're not going to make it like they hate each other. They're both fairly approachable, really nice, understandable guys. So they understand that what they've got to do, because Robert Whittaker is the current middleweight champion. Kelvin Gastelum is going to challenge him after the season's over, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, with all that said, I'll see you more likely for my next Water Concept episode, because the next... Well, I'll probably see you for the next Ultimate Fire episode. It depends on what happens, because I know there's no UFC this weekend, so got a little bit of time off between that. So yeah, I'll see you for either the next Ultimate Fire episode review or the next Water Concept episode. Yeah, that's the project I'm working on, by the way, that I announced in my last video for the UFC review I did. Yeah, it's going to be for an album called Them by King Diamond. I've listened to the album, now I've got to like break down a little bit by bit and do all the writing and stuff, and yeah, it should be good. So, given how long that takes me, though, I'll probably see for the next Ultimate Fire episode first. I know I'm delaying it. I'm sorry, I'll just end it now. I don't have a lot else to say, but that isn't repeating myself 5 times over as I have a tendency to do. So yeah, I'll see you when I see you, basically. As always, thank you for listening, you're awesome, bye bye, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the TUF season, as I will.